Yeah. Underdog Central. Now let's start the show. Purple, green, and gold. I came out that N-O-O to the top of the globe. We watched it all grow. From white tees and your bows. Wherever you from though, where you about to go, let's all watch the show.
Hold your applause, I insist. The best thing you've ever heard has commenced. I can't stop, I won't stop, I persist. And if a canvas is blank, I will invent. An artiste, but I never withdrew. I keep my feet planted, baby, I am Groot. It's Underdog Central, it don't get no better. Rock the smoothie king center, that's the you don't get lost in
Let's start the show. Purple, green, and gold. I came out that N-O to the top of the globe. We watched it all grow. Your white tees and your bows. Wherever you from though, where you about to go, let's all watch the show.
Now every time that I come around, your best advice is to hunker down. Any loud TVs, you better turn it down. Like you grandma when the storm coming, but it's just your boy. And I ain't here to play the trick or strut. Giving niggas work, I'm trying to employ something from a city called New Orleans. You know we enjoy stunting ladies jump. So I do, yeah, I guess I'm a boy something. I'm the best below the heavens. Call that blue, fast as a jaguar. That's Maurice Jones true. I'm about to take it.
Man, I've been sitting there talking the whole time. I'm talking to myself. It's crazy. Alright. We're gonna get this thing started soon. Don't trip. We live!
To the top of the globe. We watched it all grow. From white tees and your bows. Wherever you from though, where you about to go, let's all watch the show.
Alright. We're gonna get this thing started soon. Don't trip. We live! What's going on, everybody out there? This is just a quick announcement. If you're seeing this, that means from now until about noon, I'm going to be doing this live stream. Head on over to my YouTube. It's in my link tree. I'll try to drop the link somewhere else. But yeah, come on, man. Let's get it going.
What is there left to do? Yo, I'd rather you trust me than to love me. That's cause love can grow from trust me. But giving out love, I'm hella rusty. I'm super guarded, preparing for superstardom, baby. I'm well on my way. I get more love every day. We wilder than Dante. They call him a heavyweight. I burn shit, burn quits. I make opposition skate. I earn this, so I'm the only one that's eating off this plate. You ain't help me get it. You won't help me with it. Ain't see you when I started. Don't pull up when we finish. It's Underdog Central, forever what we on. It's like an ear canal. I keep my circle small. Dig? I ain't worried about you haters. I'm like, they won't ever catch me slipping. Ain't no laid back with my feet up. I'm like, let's go. I ain't worried about you haters. I'm like, they won't ever catch me slipping. Ain't no laid back with my feet up. I'm like, let's go. Catching flights, taking trips, I'm almost never home. Chasing checks and stacking chips, they know what we on. I be murdering them stages that they put me on. I ain't even got got a job like I'm Tommy Strong. Don't ever diss, I'm taking shots and it's Tommy Strong. No hill figure, it's too much to deal with him. Life's a movie, gotta focus on it, so I will Smith them. Putting numbers on the board, my team is so offensive. What's up? I ain't worried about you haters, I'm like, they won't ever catch me slipping, ain't no. Laid back with my feet up, I'm like, let's go. I ain't worried about you haters, I'm like, they won't ever catch me slipping, ain't no. Laid back with my feet up, I'm like, let's go. As I look in the mirror, nowadays I see things more clearer. Stressful days as success gets nearer. Sounded sweet, but to me gets bitter. Momentarily things gets better, but then it changes to such displeasure. I wanna shine from all my endeavors. If you want diamonds though, gotta have pressure. That's just part of the path, that is the catch. Then I will be Chris Carter with the catch. I tread through the moss like Audubon Park, so everything is all from the heart. Yeah, I need to be, and to know what they all seem to need from me. The best version of I's what I need to be, and to do it ABCD easily. We in the here and now. 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 Here and now, listen close and hear it out. One life, so live it out. Work through the fear and doubt. Yeah. Here and now, listen close and hear it out. One life, so live it out. Work through the fear and doubt. Yeah. AKA a heavyweight, and sometimes hard to handle like Chevy Chase. Anybody looking down, I set them straight, cause all I make is dope, but I ain't selling weight. I got no choice, is what I have to do. Every line I write is masterful. They hands up and down like latitude, and that's every night, plus my attitude. But even still, if I'm feeling doubt, I just take a moment to figure out what got me here, and stick to that. My presence is a gift of rap. I mean my gift is rap. I mean my gift is rap. It's like presents. Let's kick the facts, and for the ones that's gone, we can't get them back, so we take time to put them in the track. Go. We in the here and now. 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 Here and now, listen close and hear it out. One life, so live it out. Work through the fear and doubt. Yeah. Here and now, listen close and hear it out. One life, so live it out. Work through the fear and doubt. Yeah. Here and now. Here and now. Yeah. It's all for you. It's all for you. Been rocking for a minute, I think it's time to say it. Ain't scared of no commitment, you know that I ain't playing. And these feelings kinda different, ain't nothing that could change it. We only get one life, and life is what you make it. So how about you come over to the crib, sit down next to candlelight, eat your favorite dish, play your favorite song, and put on your favorite outfit. You gon' look incredible, I would never doubt it. But I just got one question, ain't no need for stressing. Would you be my main thing? You do me this blessing. You got hurt in the past, I'm trying to correct it. Won't neglect you, treat you special. Yeah. You my everything, nothing else matters. Outside.
Looks like we're about to get things going. Get this audio cracking, lacking. Go. All right, looks like things are adjourning here for the North City Council. Here we go. Hopefully y'all hopping in the chat. Hopefully y'all watching live. Looks like things are just getting adjourning right now. I see Councilmember Green. I see Elena Moreno. More importantly, what I see, what I love to see is that there's people in the crowd. I have made several social media posts about not showing up to the council meetings or what have you, but for the looks of it, there are some people there. And hopefully we'll hear from some of those folks because they get live here. I don't know if you've ever been to a city council. They get pretty turned up. Let's see how this goes. If you are out there watching and you want to jump in, I do have like a little sort of a mechanism to do a Zoom. We're gonna see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. You want to jump in on the Zoom? Big. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go now. Here we go. Now you provide Zoom link in advance. So yeah, I should probably mention that I will be doing a Zoom link kind of a situation, but like I ain't gonna lie, I don't really, y'all like that. So I gotta be a little careful. So we go do some hey, oh, I need to get that to you right now. Yeah, I'm about to send you, Aaron, you can jump in if you want to. Somebody I trust. So I'm gonna let you jump in the Zoom. Here's a cool thing. So I'm using, this is a whole like little video software thing. So like I have like full control.
Good morning. Good morning. It is my pleasure today to welcome youth and members of our community who strongly support our youth, who participated in the AXO competition of the NAACP. I'd like to say that it's great to see so many youth who came along with family members and supporters, and it makes a great day for the council. It's going to be a very busy day for us, but it's always great when we have the opportunity to start off with youth in support of them and thanking them for coming to the council. So let me just read a little bit about the background. AXO stands for African American Cultural, Technical, and Scientific Olympics. It's a major youth initiative of the NAACP, the national NAACP, and the AXO NOLA program has recently relaunched and partnered with the Milne Inspiration Center to provide a forum through which youth of African descent demonstrate academic, artistic, and scientific prowess and expertise, thereby gaining the same recognition often only reserved for entertainers, for example, and athletes. AXO is rooted in the firm conviction that all students can succeed and compete at the same time at superior levels as their counterparts in classrooms, boardrooms, and laboratories across the nation and abroad. AXO is a year-long youth achievement program geared for high school students. In more than 200 local communities throughout the United States, AXO adult volunteers recruit students and mentors. Students work with mentors to develop their projects and performances for local and national competitions where they compete for college scholarships. Today we have the students who have received gold medal awards, as well as the judges and coordinators of the AXO Awards program, including representatives of the local NAACP. These gold medal award winners will have an opportunity to participate in New Jersey on July 14th at a competition that involves them displaying the same skills that they did at the great event that took place at Suno, which I must mention, didn't get a lot of media attention as it should. 100 young people at Southern University at New Orleans competing in a very favorable way. Am I right? So today we're giving that attention to those youth and thanking them, thanking all of them, but recognizing the gold medal recipients and our judges. So as far as our judges is concerned, who are here today and who are not here today. We're going to submit this electronically to them, but the judges' proclamations read as follows. Whereas the second NAACP AXO Youth Competition was held at Southern University in New Orleans on April 23rd, 2022, and included over 100 student participants, 130 events, 50 judges, and many teacher, coaches, and advisors from throughout New Orleans, whereas the following individuals were judges using their talent and commitment to uplift youth. Therefore, be it proclaimed by the City of New Orleans that the Council recognizes and honors the judges of the NAACP AXO Awards for their contribution to the city and the advancement of our youth. And we had so many judges from a great cross-section of our community. They couldn't all be here today, but they will get this proclamation by in electronic means. For the couple of judges who are here, I'll just ask you to stand right now so we can wave to you. Thank you, and we distinguished facilitators from judges because the facilitators had a different role, but we just recognize them as facilitators and coordinators, the same information, and we're going to submit to them electronically a copy of the competition. Now for another round of applause, I'm going to ask the facilitators to stand and the judges to stand one more time so that we can see you. Thank you. And for our youth gathered, congratulations to you, and maybe I'll see you in New Jersey, but if I don't see you in New Jersey, I know that you're going up there with some strong supporters of this community, and it is great that they are here to support you today, and we'll be supporting you there. Our gold medal winners are, and I'm going to ask you to come forward because we're going to take a picture up front, so as the, you can hold the applause to the end, and then we'll applaud everyone, and they'll be at the front to join council members for a photo. If I mispronounce your name, sorry about that. Elisa Thomas, Brianna Robertson, Camara Dupree Jr., or Kamara Dupree Jr., Hannah Alexis, Idramika Bailey. Ms. Bailey has some representatives and friends here today. Jada Thomas, Jordan Robinson, Joy Menzies, Chloe Schofield, or Schofield, Raleigh Brock, Samara Bentley, Skylar Kelly, and Samara Bentley won in 2 categories, short story and photography, Skylar M. Kelly, and Vince Williams. Congratulations to all our gold medal winners at the AXO Award competition. And let me ask those parents to stand so we can see you in the audience, and feel free to come and take photos. Thank you, all parents and guardians. And the council members will now come and join you for a photo.
Yeah, but you got that one. You got that one.
You know, sometimes council meetings can drag on. There are a lot of zoning ordinances, which I'm sure we'll see into whatever it is today. But for the most part, like, a lot of things do happen, and you really keep it informed. But I understand that a lot of people at work right now need to break away, whatever it might be, and that's probably providing this week. That's probably doing this for the people. So, you know, y'all are say you can't hear me. You can't hear me at all. So, somebody let me know. Somebody jump in the comments and let me know. Oh, you can't hear me that good. How about this? How about now? Is that better? I'm sorry. I had the microphone turned down. Y'all, this is my first time doing this. There we go. Up the volume. Y'all, turn up. My bad. So, all right. Yeah, we got it now. This is my first time, y'all. You know, this is like the things that the video game people be doing. But I was like, yo, like if they can use that and barely, still, let me know. Just keep stay in the comments. Stay in the comments. Let me know. I kind of turned it up a little bit better. Cool. All right. Yes, yes, my people. Shout out to the people, the OTR Army. Um, you know, I appreciate y'all, man. Oh wait, you know what? I forgot I had something else for y'all. I forgot I had something else for y'all. Hold on. Let me get in there. Hold on. I'm still learning this. This is new software. My people. All right, watch this. Y'all, we about to look real official. You ready? You ready? You ready? Watch this. Watch this. Watch what I'm about to do. Hold on. I whipped something up. I forgot I whipped it up. Now I'm finna go and get it. Watch. Hold on, wait. Get in my go here. They say way better. Watch this, y'all. Bang! Look at this. We out here, man. I got graphics, cousin. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Boom, bam, bop, bada bing bop, bam. Swing it right there. I'm doing this live. I should have probably did this ahead of time, but we're here now. Hey! Here we go. Now we get here. Hold on. I'm about to bring in a friend of mine. Hold on while we're doing this. Let me get her in here real quick. All right. There she go. All right. She's connecting. Hold on. Bop. All right. Bada bing bop. Bam. Swing it right there. And you gotta mute. You gotta mute on your side. Hold on. I'm about to bring it in. We doing this live, y'all. I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing. I only kind of know what I'm doing. So y'all can see, y'all like watching this live in real time. Look, there she go. Watch. I got somebody in here for y'all. She is one of my favorite people. One of my favorites out here doing this work. Hold on. I got to get this straight. I want to make sure when she come in, she probably already in here. Again, I'm doing this. I don't know what hold on. Give me a second. Hey, you got to back away from that window because that ain't going to do nothing for your situation. Yeah. Right. So you got to unmute. Here we go. I got somebody in here for y'all. She is one of my favorite people. One of my favorites out here doing this work. Hold on. I got to get this straight. I want to make sure when she comes in, she's probably already in. Aaron, you got to mute the YouTube. So you got to get off the YouTube. Yeah, you ain't going to be able to do both. You got to get off the YouTube. It's all good. And just talk to me. All right. Unmute. Go. I got somebody in here for y'all. You have headsets? One of my favorites out here doing this work. Hold on. I got to get this straight. I want to make sure when she comes in, she's probably already. We're going to get it right. All right. She's going to mute. She's going to do that. I'm going to let her get that straight. While she get that straight, yeah, we are here. If you're just joining us, we are looking at the New Orleans City Council meeting. Hold on. Let me get my dog bumping real quick. Hold on. My dog said I could bump his music in the background. Give me a second. I don't even know. Hold on. We're going to get it right. Don't you? That's not important right now. There we go. Aaron, you ready? You good? All right. Let me see if she's ready. Come on back in. You can hear me now? All right. Unmute real quick.
I'm here.
Give me a second. So yeah, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask you a question, mute it, and then you can just come on and answer because there's a little bit of delay. We'll figure that piece out. So tell everybody what you do, who you are, kind of your organization and all of that, so that people can understand what the work it is you do and why you're always so very vocal about your work online. All right, unmute real quick.
I am Adrena with Aaron's Nesting. I'm here.
So yeah, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask you a question, mute it, and then you can just come on and answer because there's a little bit of delay. We'll figure that piece out. So tell everybody what you do, who you are, kind of your organization and all of that, so that people can understand what the work it is you do and why you're always so very vocal about your work. All right, I'm just real quick. All right, so we're gonna have to work out the Zoom mechanics, but we'll figure that out one day.
Tell me because it keeps repeating the same thing.
All right, we're gonna do that Zoom thing another time. But for now, we got the city council meeting going. It looks like they are in a little bit of a break session, so if y'all want to talk about it, we can talk about some stuff in the comments. I'll answer the questions in the comments. Drop your comments, drop your concerns, and I'll try to do the best that I can. So it looks like right now the city council is going through, they're answering questions. I mean, they're taking pictures, talking to folks. This is kind of what they do. Typically before a city council meeting, you'll have this sort of big show of support for a local organization or a group of people who have been doing some great stuff. And right now, it looks like the young folks are getting their just due. I see Councilmember Freddie King there, talking to some folks. I believe that I saw some, the support Gordon Plaza folks, they are always out in full force. I love the fact that I always see them there. They are never not out there doing the work. Yeah, I know, man. We all trying to. Somebody said I'm still trying to learn YouTube. Look, man. Here's the thing. Like, I decided to kind of get into doing this without really knowing. I'm the kind that just like launches into these things. So, I figured like the best way to learn most of the time is just trying to figure it out, right? Trying to figure it out, and then when you figure it out, you figure it out. So, we're learning. It's a learning process. Do. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mute them. All right, we're gonna mute them for a second, and I'm gonna bring my dog. AB back because he told me I could play his music in the stream.
Underdog Central.
There we go. We're just gonna bump some AB. If y'all got some questions, comments, concerns about the city council meeting, drop it in the comments. We can talk about it. Listen, there's a lot of things that's gonna be happening at today's city council meeting. We have all of the alleged contract fixing stuff that's happening. Thank you, Hannah. I appreciate your support. We have alleged contract fixing. We have obviously the stunt driving that happened over the weekend. And listen, I kind of have mixed feelings about this. I do a radio show as well. And in the morning on WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about. Make sure you tune in every 6 a.m. for the Wake Up Show. But I do have mixed feelings about that sort of stunt-like behavior because, listen, I grew up in a generation of, like, extreme sports, right? And so you think about the X Games and all of that kind of stuff. This is just sort of the new age version of, this is just sort of like the new, they up in the game, right? Like, I remember it was like a huge deal when somebody did like a backflip on a motorcycle, right? And now they're like pulling double backflips and doing all kind of stuff. And I think that these kids, one, they're bored. We talk about that all the time. These kids are bored. They don't have anything to do. And so they're just in these places where like, I don't know what to do. And so I think the heavy-handedness that I think sometimes comes from these things could be a little bit much. But, I saw Oliver Thomas. He was out there telling people like, hey, we got to, should we bring in the National Guard? That was something he said. It was on the WDSU report. And so, it'll be interesting to see because I know that a lot of that's going to get addressed today. I know the council has a large order of business ahead of them when addressing this situation with the Smart Cities program. Whew. Man, listen, people were like, hey, man, why are you so angry? Like a few months back, like, why are you so angry? Why your content seems angry and angry. I'm like, listen, man, if you knew what I knew, you'd be just as angry. Well, now y'all know what I knew. And now y'all just as angry. So, here we are. We're all here together. We can commiserate together. But I do think the city council, especially being led by City Council President Helena Moreno and JP Morrell, they're like, yo, man, like, we can kind of had enough of this. So I'll be interested to see how they handle this. So it looks like they are getting that first order of business, which was to honor the young people and members of the NAACP. But looks like things are going to be coming to order here. So let me see. Let's tune back in. Let's get that back on. Yep, looks like we're coming in.
I hate to be like the teacher up here and ask everyone to please settle down a little bit so we can start our meeting. If you're having conversations,
We have a
if you could take
courtyard,
them
folks. Feel
outside.
free to go to the courtyard outside. You're welcome to.
You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here.
Okay, well, good morning.
Okay.
They're good. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you all being here. All right, good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, June 9th. It is a little bit after 10 o'clock. Thank you for being with us. This is our full council meeting. We will begin with roll call.
Roll call. Roll call. Councilmember Thomas. Present. Councilmember Green.
Present.
I'm here too.
Councilmember Morrell.
Bro, OT be cutting up at these
Moreno.
meetings.
Present.
I can't
Councilmember
wait
Harris.
for y'all to see how
Councilmember
OT
King.
be cutting up. He
Councilmember
be
Green.
cutting up.
We have.
You hear
I'm
me?
here. Jerusalem. I'm
Cannot
sorry.
wait.
I'm here too.
We have 7 members. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Appreciate that. Our invocation will be led by Pastor Botan.
We bow heads in a moment of prayer. Gracious God, our Father, how we honor you, how we adore you, how we thank you for this day that you have given us. We thank you for this moment, for this opportunity that you allowed us to come together on behalf of our city. God, we pray right now, most of all, for your peace to be in this place, for your love to be in this place, for your wisdom to be in this place. Bless those who you have assigned over us. Give them everything they need to make the right decisions on behalf of this city. We thank you for the community that is represented here today. Let them speak with boldness, with power, and clarity as they convey their concerns about the state of our city. God, we trust you to do what you do best, and that's to heal our land. So bless us this day, we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen, brother.
Thank
That
you,
was
Pastor.
a
Our
nice
pledge will
prayer.
be led by Council Vice President Morrell.
I feel like I should be taking a knee right now. No, we can't take a knee on her. We can't take a knee. We can't. I hope that's Shout out to the Spirit of New Orleans, man. We already know how to do that.
Who's brought stripes and bright scars through the perilous fight for the ramparts.
Shout out to Joe Brown Park, you heard me? He's going now. He's staying up. He's playing low and all of that. Shout out to you.
And the rockets the bombs bursting in air came through the night that our land was still there. Oh, say, don't let us sustain the
Boy, let me tell you, they know how to get a party started. All right, let's go. There we go. Man, you think it'd be like where the two
We're going
teams
to do
running out?
the order of business, and then after that, I'll take the motions on suspension.
We have approval of the minutes, May 5th, 2022, May 12th, 2022, special meeting, and May 19th, 2022.
It's been moved and seconded.
There we go. Yes, Sinatra, I see you definitely got to be brave to survive.
Members,
That's
vote your
for sure.
machines, please.
So this is like just kind of, this
6
was
yeas, no
dope
nays,
like
and the
about
minutes
this,
are
that like, what's cool is that like we get to see the actual like voting. It's really
We
kind
have
of a dope
special
experience,
order
but I
of
understand
business.
it like it's so
The
hard to
first
like.
order of business is a
get there. It's all good.
presentation. Ada Goodley Lampkin, Director for the Louis A. Berry Institute for Civil Rights and Justice at Southern
Oh,
University
I
Law
keep on
Center,
reading.
Frederick Wood Delahousie, Chief Creative Officer at Ashe Cultural Arts Center, Larry Barabino, CEO of the New Orleans Recreation Development Commission, highlighting the National Civil Rights Conference pre-conference activities, honoring New Orleans' rich history, participating in the movement for civil rights, and Louisiana's selection as this year's host location. Partners will discuss the key events and special honorees for the upcoming National Civil Rights Conference, which will take place in New Orleans and Baton Rouge from June 18, 2022 to June 21,
all kind of stuff popping happening, right? See, now y'all get to find out about all of this cool stuff happening in our city. We got a Doc Goodley, who I said was the homie. I called her Ada, and that's how you know she the homie, because I've been out here saying her name wrong. So first order of business, they're going to highlight the National Civil Rights Conference and pre-conference activities here in New Orleans.
You can start the presentation whenever you guys are ready.
Great. Thank you.
Good morning, council members.
Good morning. Thank you all for inviting us to speak about the National Civil Rights Conference, a conference that has been in the planning for over a year, so it's absolutely a labor of love, heavy on the labor, but a lot of wonderful partners have come together to make this a really, really special National Civil Rights Conference, including the folks over at Ashe, our wonderful friends at Nord, Mr. Larry Barabino, and of course, Mr. Frederick from Ashe. Can we call you Hollywood?
You can call me whatever you need.
Okay. Southern University Law Center had the opportunity to partner with the National Education and Empowerment Coalition last year in Jackson, Mississippi, and we put on wonderful events for the community that centered around restorative justice. And so we are continuing in that vein for this year's conference, offering free restorative justice training to our community. And I think it is, the most fitting thing to give to the community. Of course, we want to present amazing academics and all of their research, but we also want to give the community something that they can walk away with and continue on. So that free restorative justice training is beginning on the 15th, and you can register for that at the National Civil Rights Conference's website, civilrightsconference.com. There's also going to be film screenings, free Know Your Rights trainings, community and stakeholder community circles. There's going to be historical tours. The Whitney Plantation Tour is also included in our pre-conference activities in New Orleans on the 18th and 19th. And then we go over to Baton Rouge on the 20th and the 21st for our conference activities, including a bus tour. The Baton Rouge bus boycott is always an overlooked feature of the civil rights movement, and so we're going to make sure that people remember and understand how important Baton Rouge and those activists were in the civil rights struggle. And so I want to pass it over to Mr. Barabino to talk a little bit more about the pre-conference Father's Day program that we have, where we are going to be honoring local fathers of our civil rights movement, including a sweetheart of the city, Mr. Jerome Big Duck Smith.
Yeah, man. Shout out Big Duck, man.
Good morning.
Big Duck, baby. Let's go, man.
For us, it is a privilege, pleasure, and honor to put on what we're doing on Father's Day, and which happens to be Juneteenth. With that, the city, this committee, should I say, and we're going to be honoring Jerome Big Duck Smith for all that he has done throughout the civil rights movements, but as well as what he has done for the city of New Orleans at Huntersville and for the kids of the city of New Orleans. So it's going to be a day of celebrations with activities taking place at the Carver Theater, but also with that, we're bringing in the culture to celebrate him, to parade as we do traditionally in New Orleans from the Carver Theater to Huntersville, where we're going to have a host of guest speakers honoring Jerome Big Duck, as we affectionately call him Big Duck, honoring him for all that he has done, for the impact that he has made, not just in that community at Huntersville, but the impact that he has made nationally during the civil rights movements. And it was an honor for NOAA to be a partner with that. We're going to have presentations from some of the NOAA campers that'll be honoring and doing, the presentations that Jerome Smith in Huntersville and Tambourine and Fane was so famously known for with their programming. And with that, we're again excited to be a part of it from the north side and from the city side. And I'll turn it over to Hollywood to allow him to talk about what we're doing from the Ashe side as a collective group.
Good morning. I'll be brief and share the sentiments of my esteemed colleagues up here. Let me first say that I bring greetings from Asala Divine Ecclesiastes, the Chief Equity Officer of the Ashe Cultural Law Center. It's my pleasure to serve as the Artistic Director. I know I don't have to tell you all that you don't have to be like fans of Game of Thrones to know that giants walk among us and we have heroes that are stalking our streets. They unassumingly sit in back of rooms like this, but every now and again they might pop up to give you a lecture or two and to remind us what greatness looks like, what it feels like, remind us what it means to give voice to the voiceless, remind us that we are because of those who have shined a light on our paths. And I can think of nobody who has a bigger light than Big Duck. For those of us who call ourselves community organizers, community activists, community servants, for those of us who are architects of feather and crown, or who pound feet into the ground for protest or parade, or if you're a culture bearer, culture keeper, you are because Big Duck paved the way for so many of us. So we're going to do on Juneteenth what our culture demands of us. We're going to take it to the streets. We're going to second line in the name of our Baba down to Huntersville. We partnered with Southern and with Nord and with the city and with other folks to really come through and attempt to, I don't even know if we can, collectively in this space, I don't know if we have enough light to equal the light that Big Duck has given to us, but we're going to humbly attempt to do so on Juneteenth in honor of him. So thank y'all for y'all time.
Thank you. And one last correction we should probably make on the record is that Jerome Smith is now Dr. Jerome Smith.
Oh, yes,
with
yes.
2 honorary degrees, one from Xavier and one approved from the Southern University system. So we will be celebrating Dr. Jerome Smith in proper fashion on June 19th, and we hope you all join us.
Yeah, we welcome the city. I know we got a lot going on Juneteenth. It's Freedom Day, but we welcome everybody to celebrate our Bible.
It's hard to follow after that. I know I speak for my council colleagues in saying that we are so excited to be part of the celebration. There is really nothing we can do as citizens to express our gratitude to Dr. Jerome Smith. And I think that, as you said, the only appropriate way to begin to thank him for everything he's done for the city is to celebrate him. As my mom always says, give me my flowers while I'm here. Right. And it is beyond argument that we would not be the city we are here today without the contributions he's made. Now, I know there's several council members that want to speak. Why don't we just go down from the right to the left? So we'll begin with Councilmember Thomas. Oh, Councilmember Green.
I am so pleased that on Father's Day and Juneteenth we are celebrating Dr. Jerome Smith. It's amazing to think that he was willing to ride on a bus when the Klan said, you all aren't going to get away with that. That he went to Parchman Penitentiary at a time when there was nothing near there's nothing near the oversight that we have now of penitentiaries and the like. It had to be an incredibly frightening experience. Of course it was. But he maintained his composure in the midst of that. At a time when civil rights workers were missing, he was willing to go to Mississippi, where the civil rights workers had been taken away by government authorities and killed and buried in the ground just as if they were plants, if they were inanimate objects. What Dr. Jerome Smith and freedom riders did and others made a tremendous difference. It showed that we had courage and that we had convictions, and in the midst of buses being burned and beatings taking place of civil rights workers, they stayed focused on the prize, and it made a difference here in the city of New Orleans, which was the final place that the riders were going to wind up, but couldn't make it because they were so terribly treated on that journey. I just appreciate all that Dr. Smith has done, and I thank Nord and the Southern University Law Center for looking at this when Father's Day and Juneteenth come together as an opportunity to recognize someone who's continued to work with tambourine and fan with other developments in our community to help make our community better. So Dr. Smith, if you're watching, or if you're not, you'll see this. Thank you in my behalf, and also I know on behalf of the council members, for your courage, for your willingness to take on the authorities who said that we weren't going to go where we went, who also supported organizations, terrorist organizations, that tried to stop us from doing the right thing. I appreciate your courage back then. Even when I go to Mississippi now and I spend nights with the Boy Scouts, for example, in different camps and things like that, I don't know how 50 years ago you could have done what you did in certain areas of Mississippi. And so I just thank him and thank you all, and I'll be there with you on the 19th. I appreciate it. And thank you, Nord, for so much that you all do. I mean, many times we don't recognize it enough, and I know the Southern University Law Center is here too. I tell people when they say, oh, there's not enough for youth to do, I say, just go to the Nord site, and there's always something for youth to do, and also for adults. Let's all come out on the 19th and celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Thomas.
First, I want to thank the committee, Chairman Goodley, Mr. Barabino, the great Hollywood guys, and everyone involved with this program. You know, my family is so large and so vast, and on that side of my dad's family, where the Smiths and the Boyds and the Jalukes and the Francises and the Augustes and the Martins are related. It was always legendary to know that you had a big cuz that put humanity first. And while we're honoring him, you know, in all of this splendor, you know, in our family, when you talk about sacrifice, I want people to understand that people who give their life for others, sometimes we have no idea what they gave up to give their life for others, in terms of wealth, fame, family, and in many cases their freedom. And we know in many cases their lives. So that we're honoring him for civil rights, for Big Doug, because it was always more than just civil rights. It was the rights of our humanity, for all people. But he knew while he was fighting for our people, he was fighting for freedom for somebody in the Southeast, someone in our homeland in Africa. And would somebody from the 17th Ward to the 3rd Ward to the lower 9th Ward. So I just want to thank you guys so much, because there's no way, because this should have been done, but every time it was ever tried to be done, you know, Farron and then would tell you that he wouldn't let it be done.
Right.
You know, but he's at a point in his life where, as much control as he had, it's good that he doesn't have control, so that we can give him his due. You know, because of the life of someone who puts themselves second isn't always a life that people endure. When you fight for other people, in many cases, you put your own life and your own time and your own humanity on the line. So I just want to thank this committee, man, and to know that I got a drop of that blood that runs through my veins, knows that there are people on this earth that are the greatest examples of our existence. And that's what Big Cuz represents. He represents our existence.
See.
Councilmember Harris.
I want us all to take a moment and think about what this council looked like 50 years ago, and how this council looks today, and how we all sitting out there stand on the shoulders of giants like Dr. Smith.
Yes.
It's just so amazing to me that people put their lives on the line and stood taking abuse so that we could sit here, so that we could have the rights that we have today. I'm a product of the civil rights movement. I think we all are. And I just want to thank you for all that you're doing. You know how I feel about Ashe.
Thank you.
And I will definitely be there for the Juneteenth celebration. So thank you for honoring him and honoring the movement.
Thank you.
Councilmember Druso.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I want to piggyback on what Councilmember Thomas said, which is humanity. And I think with everything that Dr. Smith has lived through, it'd be easy to lose a big part of your humanity and become bitter by what you've lived, what you've seen, what you've experienced, unfairness, inequity. And we hear a lot of stuff in these chambers, right? We're here probably 10 days, 12 days out of 20 working days a month. And so there's always people talking about something. But I remember him standing at that podium during a meeting and talking about how is it our humanity say good morning to each other. Just that simple act, looking somebody in the eye, good morning, how are you? And it may not seem like that profound a thing, but I think we forget as we were coming off of COVID, as people are not being held together, as we're getting further divided into tribes and philosophies and what neighborhood you're from, that we sometimes need people to help us bridge those gaps and those divides. And since Jerome has seen so much and lived so much and been able to remind himself, but all of us, of what our humanity ought to look like, I really thank you all for making him such a large part of this and for your work. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll close this out. I think it's Councilmember Green really hit on it, and I just want to kind of bring that home. When Dr. Jerome Smith stepped up and stepped out to be a freedom rider, death was not an abstract concept for people in the civil rights movement. It was likely and it was real. I mean, you look at the murder of Emmett Till, and that was fresh in everyone's memory at that time. This was a young man with prospects who said, I'm going to stop everything I'm doing because it's the right thing to do, to step in the gap and do what is necessary to protect generations of people that would follow him. It's a tragedy nationally that a lot of the same racist and hateful rhetoric is making its second round through the civil discourse or uncivil discourse in the United States. And we are very fortunate that Dr. Jerome Smith is still among us to remind us that history is repeating itself. Because there's not a lot of communities in this country that have people that are still here from the civil rights movement to inspire a new generation of people to step up into that gap and say, this is not right and we have to work together for change. So, like I said, I will learn from my mama, you give the flowers while you're still here, and it is so exciting that on Juneteenth we'll be able to celebrate Dr. Jerome Smith for everything he's done for us. So thank y'all for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, what's the next item on the agenda?
We're supposed to be doing the things under suspension. Are we ready for that, or are we going?
I don't see the council president. Oh, she's out there she's in the crowd. Okay, she's in the crowd.
So I'll go ahead and read it.
We can go ahead and read it and let's start rolling.
All right. Oh, okay.
All right, now that we got that out the way, it looks like we're about to get some business going. Council President Elena Moreno has to take her seat in the center of the council chamber. So here we go. I think there's a lot on the agenda. I probably should have the agenda pulled up. That would probably be helpful, huh?
I apologize for that. Let's go ahead and have you read into the record the contempt motions, and then I'll suspend the rules.
We have motion M22 267 by Council members Moreno, Morrell, Jeruso, Harris, King, Green, and Thomas, announcing that the City Council does find the foregoing actions by Arthur Walton to constitute a willful or contumacious refusal or failure to timely object or produce documents, materials, or objects for the inspection by the council pursuant to and at the time and place designated by a subpoena of the council issued pursuant to Section 3-124 of the Home Rule Charter, and accordingly does hereby find Arthur Walton to be in violation of Section 58 of the Code of the City of New Orleans. We need to suspend the rules to receive this.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'll make a motion to suspend the rules when the machines come up. I've moved. It's been seconded by Council Vice President Morrell. Any objection to the suspension of rules? Hearing none, the rules are suspended. I'm going to make some brief comments, because I
Here
feel
we go,
like
boys
talked
and
so
girls.
much
The
at
moment you've been
length
waiting
about
for.
all this,
All
but,
right,
Councilmember.
You want to suspend the rules on the other one too?
No, I want to suspend the rules to add this, and then you could.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. No, she doesn't want to do that. Go ahead. I'll make a motion to suspend.
Okay.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
To add it to the agenda. Seconded by Councilmember Green. Sorry, the machines aren't working very quickly. All in favor? Aye. Hearing no opposition, and it's added to the agenda, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Now you can talk.
Okay, thank you. So today we are taking up two motions for contempt that direct the city attorney to begin moving forward with contempt charges for two of the mayor's top aides. And I'll just have to say that it is really disappointing that we are at this point. The motions are related to subpoenas issued through the Smart Cities investigation. Both the mayor's chief of staff, Cliff Davis, and Art Walton, the head of intergovernmental affairs, both failed to respond to our subpoenas, and instead, Mr. Davis took us to court. Yesterday, the council prevailed in court, which allows us to move forward with contempt of council. The council, this city council, is given very specific powers in the city charter, and that includes conducting investigations and issuing subpoenas. This council may not agree on all issues, but we do stand united in the fact that for our body to be effective, to really push for accountability and transparency, we must protect the authority provided to us by the city charter. And I want to make clear that requesting public information shouldn't have been this hard and costly. We've requested information that rightly belongs to the public and that furthers an essential role of the City Council to ensure transparency. We granted significant time extensions and other graces in good faith, but those allowances were met with defiance of our reasonable directives and of city law. So now this council has to act. My hope now is that there will be compliance with the subpoenas so that we can consider dropping these contempt charges. In the meantime, this inquiry will continue to vigorously seek truth and follow the facts wherever they may lead. Councilmember Giarrusso.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to emphasize one point that I think wasn't necessarily expanded on at the hearing yesterday, which is the email that we got from the administration in May about the subpoenas. This is what it says. I was unsuccessful to reach Councilmember Moreno by phone. Therefore, I'm writing on behalf of the administration to request a 10-day extension to comply with the subpoenas that were served upon us. Next paragraph. The law department and ITI have been coordinating with the three of us to compile the documents requested, but it is a tedious task. Inasmuch as the subpoenas are related to an extrajudicial proceeding, it is my intent that this communication will serve as a satisfactory request for an extension in which to comply. That is 3 different ways that the administration told us in May that they were going to produce these documents to us. And I think not only are we allowed to rely on that, but there's a worry that we get lulled into inaction by relying on what we've been told. I don't like the fight either. I don't think it's good for us as a city and a council. I don't think that it's the best use of our time. Here we are over the last few weeks having spent time on this. I would point out today that we're taking up a number of issues that we're working together on, that you are leading legislation on public safety along with Councilmember Green on NOPD recruits, on the donuts, on domestic violence, on infrastructure. We have traffic signals and the substation. We're going to file legislation today to stand up the STR office. I know Councilmember Thomas has been working on Lincoln Beach. We're going to introduce a CEA on the West End restaurants. I realize all of that is political, but it is for the purpose of helping the public, and that our efforts are to be constructive and productive. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Druso, and I'll just add that we'll be also adding an ordinance today on first read that will fully fund the capital program line item for the Gordon Plaza fully funded relocation as well.
Yo, whoa, you can't just be dropping that
This is gonna
dime
be a
like
momentous
that.
day with the
We're going to
council
get some
in terms
Gordon
of how
Plaza
we work
news
with the
today. Let's
administration,
go.
In terms of enhancing the quality of life. My issue, amongst the other issues with this, is if the public under law ask for documents of the citizen, of the public officials.
Oh, here he go.
Public law requires us to produce those documents. And so the city council is asking for documents that are available and other materials that are available within our own confines here at City Hall. And it is difficult to accept any response other than the producing of those documents. It sets a bad precedence for the public if they see that if the city council can't get its documents, then how difficult is it going to be for me to get the documents when I do a public records request? So it's important that we work as a council to get these documents produced to us and that we use them in whatever way we feel is necessary, because under the city charter, which is a strong city charter that I've spoken about before, the council is granted those powers to balance power in our city, to make sure that the city council and the mayor's office can work together on issues, that no one issue is dominated by one party or the other without an input. So I'm kind of disappointed, especially as I speak of what the public has a right to. It seems that the council should certainly have a right to have gotten those documents in a timely manner. And I don't even accept that it was going to take 10 days to get documents that are in City Hall, or on city servers and computers. So at the end of the day, that's my concern. And I appreciate the work of especially our council members who've been on the ground on this issue, and they know that the rest of the council supports them. But we need to get these documents because of the precedents that it would set by not getting them based on what we have as powers within the city charter.
Thank you, Councilmember Green. Councilmember Thomas, followed by Morrell.
I'm in the middle of doing a mediation right now that centers around some of the violence that happens in my street. Some folk know that I've worked with peacekeepers and
hey man, Oliver be out here, bro. Oliver be out here.
I've done successful mediations where young men and women have agreed to put their guns down, and they don't have to walk away liking each other, but they walk away respecting each other and having respect for life. So at some point, if there's a fight, then a battle, then a fight. One thing we know, in fights, people get hurt. We know battles lead to wars. So just like the mediation I did yesterday with the family, and for prayers that no one else gets hurt, no one loses their life, I would hope that we could have a collective energy for cooperation and at some point pay for peace and get to a point where everybody's on the same page.
Thank you, Councilmember Thomas. Councilmember Morrell.
Thank you. I'll echo what many of my colleagues have already said, which is that it's really unfortunate we got to this point. It's unfortunate that we had to waste time, we had to waste resources, and we had to further undermine public confidence in government in this process. But let's be very clear. The two principals in the council investigation, the two members of Verge Internet, when the council issued subpoenas to them, they responded and produced. In fact, I would argue that the individual, Mr. Wolf, who out of all the parties subpoenaed had the least amount of financial resources, hired his own attorney on his own dime to do that production. What's very, very, very disturbing to me, and I also would like to note that private companies we have subpoenaed that are not government are compiling and doing production. What is extremely disturbing to me, and which is why we're here today on this contempt motion, is that Mr. Davis wasted our resources, he wasted our time, and he undermined public confidence by trying to set aside and create a special exemption
We just
for
hired
certain people
a lawyer
to not
for
respond.
this guy. That's right.
Because
the taxpayers
other people
just
who are
paid
in city
for this
government
lawyer.
did not waste our time, did not waste our resources, and responded to the subpoena. I want to put on the record, I have very grave concerns about the procurement process of the law firm that represented Mr. Davis in this lawsuit. We have significant processes in the charter and in ordinance that state the public process in which someone is hired to do work in this city. To date, we have not received any information that explains how this law firm was hired, how much they're being paid by the hour, how much they've been paid, and what is the length and scope of that contract. Let me be very clear to those non-lawyers out there. In city government, contracts are limited typically to attorney general rates, which are about $175 an hour. But there can be special exemptions where law firms are paid their full price, which could be $400 or $500 an hour. These are basic questions which we have put to the Shear Garner law firm and have not gotten responses yet. Furthermore, I would note from yesterday from our hearing, this issue isn't even fully resolved because we were told at the hearing they intend to appeal and spend more money, more taxpayer dollars, more wasted resources. So what I would say is, before there can be a time for us to come together, we need to rebuild public confidence in this investigation by people doing what the city attorney told them to do, what the inspector general told them to do, and to comply with the subpoenas, send over the information, and rebuild what's needed. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Public comment, Mr. Cole, come on up.
Here you go, y'all. Here you go.
Good morning.
Products come from environments. I would like to commend you. I've seen the attack. It's substantiated. But I would like to tell you that you need to inform the public that every platform you're standing on right now in your great job that you're doing as the president comes from my people right here. We've all been sitting here saying all of that for the last 20 years. That's where I wanted to begin. Why y'all letting them double charge us for trash? I'm a single father and I have to make choices with my money, Oliver. They owe me $600 and something. I went back and did it. I hope somebody's recording this because I'm gonna need the video because I'm going further after this. Every one of you sitting officials understand that we're being extorted. I see no action, and it's critical. It's affecting our society adversely. I can show you how. I want to get the crime stats. We need action today. Freddie, you could do this immediately for us today. You could do this for us today. Make them have a retribution and everything. It ain't gonna have to be no long process. We done researched everything. It's extortion. Please stop it. How do I get my money back when they took my car? The stuff y'all was talking about earlier, buku people in my DM want to understand what is the process for us to get reciprocity on that. Really, I got like 100 people in my DM on the same topic. They've all had it happen to them with their whips.
Mr. Cole, I'm going to get Mr. Tuazolo, who's my chief of staff, with you, and he will go step by step through it. And if you could alert.
No, not with me. I need you to say it for the record. I need you to say it for the record. I told you it's 100 people in my DM. Real talk.
Yeah. So there
don't say it to me.
No problem. But if you could also help us spread the message, that would be really helpful.
But I'm just saying, I want to say for the record that I'm not just asking that for myself.
Yep. So
one more message.
Okay.
And I can show you guys if you need to see in my DM. There's a lot of unrest in the city, and we just had elections, so you all were selected on your merit, right? We cannot allow you guys to walk around New Orleans and enjoy it fully when we are under so much duress. That's a message from the city.
Thank you, Mr. Cole.
I mean, look,
Ms.
you can
Ford?
say what you want about Byron Cole
come on
and
up.
his methodology, but I will say this. Listen, I mean, the guy's built multiple platforms. People
Good morning,
listen
Council.
to him.
Good morning,
everybody has a
down
place
here
in this.
specifically to speak on this subject matter because I just so happen to watch Leon Canizero when he also refused to give public records during his tenure. For those of you who are brand new, he is our former district attorney who did a whole lot of just improper things in office, including making his own subpoenas and issuing them to the people in my community, to which I filed a recall petition for him because his behavior was so bad. He actually came out to the public and said on public TV he was willing to break the law to enforce the law. So yeah, we recalled him for that. Yes, we did. And just so happened, thanks be to God, he did not run for another term as our district attorney.
I love this.
But I watched him. He not only did he go to court, he appealed and he went to the state. He went as far as he could go, all on the taxpayer's dime. So when we get elected officials who are so willing to go to court because they don't have to pay those exorbitant tax fees, that's what it looks like. And as long as the city of New Orleans taxpayers are footing the bill and not these individuals themselves footing the bills for these illegal, and it may not even be illegal, but it certainly is immoral. See, these immoral. You say what? Yeah, and it's just some bad dealing going on, and I do not want to see Mayor Cantrell, in which she has done a lot of things that I have not particularly cared for in this community. And I think a lot of it has to do with that she's not born and raised here. Some of these behaviors that I have seen from her. But even so, I will not be able to sit back and quietly bear the brunt of her tenure as mayor while she chalks up the legal fees. And I appreciate this council. Thanks be to God, because she's not used to dealing with a council that's going to say, oh, no, you can't do that. So thank you for that. I appreciate each and every one of you for standing up for this, because it's not easy. But you have the support of your community. Maybe not all of the pastors, but certainly the support of this community.
Why'd you call it out the pastors?
And also, I just appreciate you. Thank you so much. You cannot sit by and watch you do it silently. Thank you for standing up. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Appreciate it.
Man, oh man! I'll tell you what. This is one of the things I love the most about council meetings.
One more thing. If y'all
Back.
think it's hard for y'all getting a public records request, can you imagine what it's like for us to get a public records request?
Dead ass.
Y'all seeing what we've been saying all along, because we've been telling council members how difficult it is to get public records, especially from the city attorney's office, while our properties are being stolen from underneath us.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. All right, members, seeing no further public comment and comments from the dais, let's go ahead and vote on this. Let's vote on the motion, please. All right. I'm going to make a motion to adopt. I'm going to make a motion to adopt. Can I get a second on this contempt proceeding? Seconded by Council Vice President Morrell.
All right, so
7
look, there
yeas,
it
no
is.
nays. All right. We have another one to consider.
So there we go.
That was for Mr. Walton. The next one for Mr. Davis.
So
Please,
that was for
Madam
the
Clerk,
first
can you read it
gentleman,
in,
Mr.
and then I'll
Walton,
suspend the
and
rules.
looks like there's one
Motion
contempt of council.
M22-268 by Council members Moreno, Morrell, Jeruso, Harris, King, Green, and Thomas. Announcing that the council does find the foregoing actions by Clifton Davis III to constitute a willful, a contumacious
Clifton
refusal
Davis
or
being the mayor's
failure
chief of
to
staff.
timely object or produce documents, materials, or objects for the inspection by the council pursuant to and at the time and place designated by a subpoena of the council issued pursuant to Section 3-124 of the Home Rule Charter, and accordingly does hereby find Clifton Davis III to be in violation of Section 2-58 of the Code of the City of New Orleans. We need to suspend the rules to receive this.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I've made the motion, seconded by Councilmember Morrell.
Byron Jen, is that an attachment?
Can I get
Byron
all the
just-
council members to vote, please?
He said, is that an attachment?
7 yeas, no nays. All right, now we need to move to suspend the rules to add it to the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Morrell. I've seconded.
I didn't know if it was working.
Sorry, the machines are a little slow today. 1 second. 1 second. Let me finish voting, okay? One more. I'm missing a vote. 7 yeas, no nays. Okay, now, Madam Clerk, on the motion to move forward with this. To adopt the motion, I've moved, seconded by Councilmember Green. All right, 7 yeas, no nays. Mr. Cole, to answer your question. So what the council has now done is directed the city attorney to move forward with charges of contempt of council. And so what that means is that she will move forward with those unless she chooses to recuse herself. If she recuses herself, then it would be up to the district attorney to then move forward with these proceedings. So that's what has happened now on both for Mr. Davis and also for Mr. Walton.
So it looks like right now, as it stands, the council has held both the gentlemen that they wanted. They are in contempt, and now that's going to move forward with the Office of Attorney General. I'm not really a legal expert. I'm not really sure what the language is, but you know, we do have some nice journalists, especially
council members all the
print
time,
journalists.
especially now citywide issue.
So
I want to make it very clear to the audience here and those watching that the city council has zero input on the trash contracts. We have zero input on the bidding process. We, like you, also pay for twice a week pickup and only get once a week pickup. No, let me. All right, so it's not scripted. So at the last public works meeting, it was stated that the money, the $24 that goes to the $24 that goes to the trash pickup goes to the general fund. So
the voters are watching. I done researched what you can really do. Don't do that.
To cut to the end, at the end of the day, the council will have to vote on the trash contracts if they're more than 1 year. That is when the council will have the ability to review how much it's going to cost and what we're going to get for it. So we have a step in the process, and we're going to be involved in it. We're not involved in it yet.
That does the same thing against the city or the municipality. But you cannot do that to a corporation doing it to every citizen. Don't you tell me that, JP. Don't do that.
The challenge.
I'm telling you, I have to choose what bill to pay. I'm a single father. That's what I'm telling you.
Can you let me talk? Can you let me talk? Right now, and this is a significant concern you are correct about. Right now, the city is paying several companies 130% of the cost of trash pickup on an emergency contract. We hear you, and we on it. You can't.
Because what you're paying is an overage. That's, you can deny it on that fact. It's an overage. There's a discrepancy with the bill. We done paid the high water bills that we know what to do. Now you're going to keep raping us?
We're dealing right now, when the trash contract comes to us.
I could show you 300 DMs where black people can't afford this.
All right, Mr. Cole, but we hear it. Let me tell you, we hear you, but you're being really rude to the people who might have an opportunity. I mean, come on.
You know who I talked to about this matter before I came in?
I know, but we have Gordon Plaza on the agenda. People who are on a doxing. Let's say no. We should not have interruption. Please give everyone a chance. But we don't. No. You can say that. I understand. No, I don't agree with that. We have to have some sense of order. Some sense of order.
All right, Mr. Cole.
We have to have some sense of order.
Hang on.
Some sense.
All right, Mr. Cole. I got to move forward with the meeting.
The order is when we have a meeting and we have an opportunity to have everyone to present.
Councilmember Green. Hang tight. Mr. Cole, thank you, Mr. Cole. All right, and thank you, Angela. All right, Mr. Cole. Madam Clerk, I need you to move forward with the agenda. We're going to move on to regular agenda. Looks like we're going to land use.
Ooh, man, that was a pretty fiery moment right there, man.
We'll do consent. Let's start with the consent agenda. Thank you.
We have communication Byron Cole is a guy I know, and a lot of people may or may not like how he gets down, but he's a guy who cares a lot.
This should be marked received.
You don't. Sometimes you got to get past delivery and try to hear what he's saying.
Green, Assistant City
about
Attorney, City of New Orleans Law Department. This should be marked received. We have a communication from Amy B. Trepanier, Personnel Director, City of New Orleans Department of Civil Service. This should be marked received and referred to the Budget Committee. We have a communication from Amy B. Trepanier, Personnel Director, City of New Orleans Department of Civil Service. This should be marked received and referred to the Budget Committee. We have a communication from Amy B. Trepanier, Personnel Director, City of New Orleans Department of Civil Service. This should be marked received and referred to the Budget Committee. We have a communication from Amy B. Trepanier,
yeah, man, my man checking in with the mortar machine.
Director, City of New Orleans Department of Civil Service.
That was pretty intense, man. But listen, Byron Cole's a pretty intense guy. Like,
on page 6,
I've been on both sides
from Amy B.
of the Byron Cole
Personnel
experience.
Director,
He's somebody
City
who,
of New Orleans
when I was
Department
in
of
more
Civil
formal
Service.
journalism, he was
This should be
somebody that I
marked
would be
received
leaning
and
on a lot
referred
for
to the
stories.
Budget Committee. We have a communication from Audrey Walker. This matter
and he knows, right?
is being withdrawn.
Yeah, they said they can't understand when it gets intense. Now, I agree. It is a very difficult situation.
We have a communication from Robert T. Garrity Jr. Esquire, a professional law corporation attorney at law, 1208 Bourbon Street. This should be marked received. Suggested hearing date is June 23rd.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
we have a communication from Elizabeth
I think
Holman,
Mr. Cole is somebody
Director
that the
of
city
Land
needs to
Use,
listen to,
Councilmember
and
Leslie D. Harris, District B,
about the issue he was bringing up. The trash
818
issue
Howard Avenue. This should be marked received
I've
and
seen
referred.
the photos, man. And then I remember post Hurricane Ida,
and
so many citizen groups and so many different community groups
we have
were
a
out there picking the
communication
trash
from
up.
Anita Curry,
I mean, our city
Council
stinks.
Research
Like
Office
the city
Director.
is
This should be
in
marked
a
received.
situation to
Suggested
where
hearing date
if you
June
can't get
23rd.
the standard
On page 8,
city
we have a
services
communication
done,
from Amy
you can
B.
see why people are
Trepanier,
frustrated,
Personnel
right? Like, you can
Director,
see
City
why
of
if
New
you're
Orleans
walking around
Department
a
of Civil
community,
Service.
you're
This
living
should
in
be
a food
marked
desert.
received and referred to the Budget
We're
Committee.
under sort of
We have a
staff for police.
communication from Amy B. Trepanier,
and it literally
Personnel
smells like
Director,
garbage
City of New
everywhere.
Orleans
You're
Department
gonna
of
start
Civil
to
Service.
feel
This should
like
be marked
nobody
received and
cares.
referred to the Budget Committee.
And so that is
We
sort
have a
of what leads
communication
into
from Amy B.
apathy
Trepanier,
and different things of that
Personnel
nature. So
Director,
it's,
City
you know,
of
listen,
New Orleans
it's a
Department of Civil
it's a slippery
Service.
slope for
This should be marked
for
received
sure,
and
man.
referred to the
For
Budget
sure.
Committee. On page 9, we have a
put this
communication
down
from
real
Amy
quick.
B. Trepanier, Personnel
drop
Director,
the-
City of New Orleans, Department of
I'm gonna
Civil
drop that,
Service.
and I'm gonna get my
This should
man
be marked
AB
received
back
and
because my
referred
man
to the
AB,
Budget Committee.
my man
We have a
AB
communication from
told me
Jennifer Avegno,
I can play his
MD,
music.
Director of
So,
the Health Department, City
I
of New
spelled that
Orleans.
wrong.
This should be marked received. We have a communication from Catherine Hilton,
I can't
Ron
spell right now.
Austin Law. This should 511 Red Allen Way. This should be marked received. Suggested hearing date June 23rd. We have a report of the Deputy Director of the New Orleans Historic District Landmarks.
Let's go to the range too. It's a new one. It's a new one from Alpha Banks. We just gonna roll it while they going through this communication stuff.
This should be marked received.
But yeah, man, jump in the comments. You know, jump in the comments. We'll chat it up a little bit while they go through all of this communication stuff. Gabe said he played conscious objector and got their attention for sure. I mean, yeah, listen, you can say whatever you kind of want about his methodology or whatever it is, but I mean, you can't lie. The brother gets results. He has a following for a reason. So you know, it's really difficult again a lot because it's so easy for people to sort of disregard people when they get emotional, right? Oh, that's not my mouse, that's their mouse. So yeah, I mean, does he not have a right to be mad? Chat, let me know, right? Like, does he not have a right to be mad? And I think that's the part that a lot of times we get into a standstill when we're doing this, right? Because we got to understand people's right to be upset. And if there were levels of communication where Mr. Cole felt like his voice was being heard, now listen, he's got a loud voice and people listen to him, but there's a difference between like listening to people and hearing people. So yeah, he does need answers. He does need answers. So they have some let's see, an ordinance to go conditional use permits. There's a few things that they're gonna do. I'm gonna let them go through all of this stuff, and when I see something that I feel like is worth jumping in, typically they'll jump back on screen. So when they jump back on screen, I'll jump back on. Yeah, no, the squeaky wheel does get the wheel. And listen, you gotta understand, you can't. Here's the interesting part, right? You can't honor Big Duck in one breath, and this is not on the council, right? This is just sort of like the pejorative thought process, but like, as we honor somebody like Big Duck, and you can say what you want about legacies and who is what in whatever timeline, but the idea that Brian Cole is really like doing this. Let me see this. Let's talk about something. Let's go back real quick, see if they talk about something. I'm gonna go back, see if they talk about something.
Anita, thank you. All right, we have two comments. Ms. Althea Brown on the consent agenda, and then it'll be followed by Michael Burnside. Ms. Brown, come on up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Althea Brown, formerly Robinson. I appreciate the opportunity to speak before you on such short notice. I was invited here by this lady, Miss Ford. I don't know her name. I never met her before, but I'm going to make this as brief as possible. I'm here to speak on behalf of the citizens of the state of Louisiana, New Orleans, and Metairie, Louisiana in particular. First of all, I want to say I'm here to be heard and not seen, number one, okay? I'm here because my rights have been repeatedly violated. My dignity has been abridged. My disgust, and I can't think of another word, with some of the people here in the city of Metairie, Louisiana in particular, and New Orleans, okay? I have a love for this city. I have a love for this state, and that's why I'm speaking to you today. First of all, Cox Communications.
Y'all know when people say they're gonna be brief, they about to take all the time.
AT&T, the Fairmont Hotel were the original, I guess you all, the legal eagles would say, would be my complainants. I don't know the legal terminology because I come to you from the sector of education, okay? And this is being done on behalf of kids, number one, Black people in particular, okay? I have been told by a bartender in the Saserac Hotel. I went in there after a divorce to have a drink, okay? I asked for a margarita. He said that a strawberry margarita was what I asked for. He couldn't make a strawberry margarita. He even couldn't make a blackberry margarita, okay? So I said, well, sir, I have never had a blackberry margarita, you know. I said, but I'll try it, you know. And I did, and I didn't like it, okay? So I told him I only came in there to listen to some music on a Sunday afternoon, okay? I wasn't a hooker coming in there to pick up a drink, okay?
Whoa!
So he said if I wanted to listen to music, I'd have to go down in the French Quarter somewhere on Decatur Street, okay? Hey, didn't really rattle me.
Ma'am, I need you to start moving it along.
That is not my particular venue.
Yeah,
okay?
man, wrap this up, man. I don't know what you're talking about. We got a whole thing going on.
Okay,
You're talking
'cause I
about
understand I
Metairie
only have 2
and blackberry
minutes.
margaritas.
But,
Wrap
this
this
young
up,
lady
baby.
said,
I love you. Wrap it up.
Forward, you know, that someone here might be able to help me. That's why I'm here.
Here's what I want to do, ma'am. I want to get you with my chief of staff, Andrew Tuizzolo, and you can explain to him
My 2
exactly
minutes are up?
Yeah, your 2 minutes are up, but you can have plenty of time with him.
She said,
and
let
we
me
can
be
figure out
brief,
exactly
and my
what-
2 minutes are up. I love it. I love it.
Andrew. Right? See that
Okay,
man right there? That's who
All
you'll be
right.
talking to,
And
okay?
then Cox, AT&T, DirecTV.
Gotcha. He's gonna sit down with you and discuss those things. All right. I had one more, Mr. Burnside. Come on up.
Wait, yo, if y'all never seen this dude, get ready. It's finna get lit.
Hello, my name is Michael Burnside. I live at 2215 Felicity. I'm here to talk about resolution number 22266, which is item number 28 on your consent agenda. And specifically, I have an interest in batteries. I happen to know that batteries can be quite poisonous when you decide to dump them into landfills. So as you move forward with this resolution, establishing various things that involve you and energy in a new pilot program, you might want to include some small little paragraph in there that somebody somewhere would do some sort of statement as to where the batteries go when they're no longer of use. Because like any physical object, batteries wear out, they get tired, they break down, they bust, they have to be thrown away. So where they go becomes sort of important, because the whole idea here is green infrastructure. The whole idea here is green power. The whole idea here is to be kind to our environment as we try to maintain our first world living standards. And we're not going to do that if we fill our landfills full of batteries.
Somebody in the chat just said,
So
child,
it'd be a good idea if
Andrew gonna
somebody
be
started
tired.
looking at that
Let me tell you,
now,
I know
rather than
Andrew. Andrew's a great guy, and
Good
yes,
point.
Andrew
Thank you, Mr.
is
Burnside.
going to be very tired.
Okay. Anita.
We have one comment from Kenitra Caston Hill, representing Alliance for Affordable Energy. She's a paid representative. This comment is for consent number 26. A sincere thank you to the Utility Committee for presenting this resolution to the full council. We must ban CCS pipelines from Orleans Parish to protect our residents. CCS is not safe. Experimental technology is too often pushed into the Black community. Black folks in New Orleans have suffered enough and do not deserve to be used to funnel billions of dollars to the state. These funds never benefit the people who are sacrificed. CCS is a false solution. There are far too many pending environmental injustice issues the city of New Orleans has pending. Why add another one? Thank you all
So right
for
now,
leading
it looks
the
like
way
she's
for the
reading
state of
some public
Louisiana.
comments on some of the stuff that people. And you can go
Thanks,
and
Anita.
if you, I think
Okay,
you just
so
go
with
to the city
that,
council
can I get a
website,
motion to adopt the
you
consent
can,
agenda, please?
you
Moved by
can,
Councilmember Green, seconded by
go and make your own
Councilmember
public
Morrell.
comment. They'll read it out loud and all of these kinds of great things as well. So yeah, if you haven't, go on city council website,
Members, vote your machines,
citycouncil.gov,
please.
whatever it is. I think that's what it is.
7 yeas, no
Whatever.
nays,
Just
and the
Google
consent
New Orleans
agenda is
City Council.
adopted.
Go there. You can put your public comment. They'll
We're
read
now
it
going
in,
to page
and we can sit here and talk
15,
about it.
the HDLC appeal of 502 Frenchman Street. This matter is past deadline, so it dies. We're on page 16. The HDLC appeal of 1230 Webster Street has been deferred to June 23rd.
So again, looks like they're just going to be going
We
through some
have
things right here.
legislative
Liz
grouping,
Lund said, can we
HDLC
talk about
appeal
crime
of
for
Jonathan
God's sake?
L.
Yeah, no, I hope so.
RC Partners,
I'm not
LLC,
sure where it is on the
attorneys at law,
agenda, what
requesting to
agenda
appeal
item
the
it is, but I
Historic District
do
Landmarks
remember
Commission decision
Councilmember
of
Leslie
approval
Harris,
to
I
levy
think
a
she has a
fine of
motion to talk about
$10,000 for the unpermitted
minimum
demolition
police. So
located
somebody,
at
I know some of y'all be out there,
4433
somebody go
Willow
look look up the
We have a motion
agenda and kind of sleuth it out for us to kind of just to let us know.
Harris,
And again, I could probably go
denying
do
the
this myself.
applicant's request
Let me go see.
to
I'm gonna go
appeal
to
a
City
fine of
Council.
$10,000 for the unpermitted demolition of the property located at 4433 through 4435 Willow Street.
This motion upholds the $10,000 fine of the HGLC for the demolition of 4433 and 4435 Willow Street. Hurricane Ida pushed the building next door into 4433-4435 Willow, but the removal of the house next door caused far more damage than it should have. Eleanor, can you brief us on the HGLC report?
Yes, the HGLC submitted a lengthy report. I'll just read the final summary. At their hearing of May 4th, 2022, the Commission reviewed the staff report, photos of the structure in question, the applicant's testimony, and the staff recommendation. Stephanie Bruno, the HGLC Commissioner for Uptown, made a motion to allow retention of the demolition and levy a fine of $10,000. The motion, seconded by Jenny West, passed unanimously. In 2019, Willow Street Partners, LLC purchased 5 lots with 4 structures for a total of $900,357. According to the 2020 certified value listed on the Orleans Parish Assessor's records, the combined value of all of the properties and the buildings on them was $543,000. All 4 buildings have since been demolished. The HGLC staff had hoped that despite losing 4419, 4425, and 4429 Willow Street, that 4433 Willow Street could be salvaged and rehabilitated as the last remaining historic structure on the block face. The staff's position is that had the removal of 4429 Willow Street been executed carefully, the damage to 4433 Willow Street would have been minimized. Unfortunately, it was damaged irrevocably and is now gone. The HGLC urges the City Council to uphold the fine levied by the Commission.
Thank you. Are there any online comments?
We have one comment from Susan Johnson, representing the Historic New Orleans Neighborhoods LLC. Council members, please deny the appeal in the matter of 443335 Willow. On Friday, June 3rd, Louisiana State Representative Amy Freeman's HB 193 was sent from the Senate to Governor Edwards, who is fully expected to sign it. Quote, relative to historic preservation districts and landmarks commissions in the city of New Orleans, HB 193 grants commissions the authority to impose higher fines for certain violations, end quote, including this illegal demolition of viable historic houses in the Uptown neighborhood. Willow Street Partners, LLC is a consortium of investors from the Upper East Side of New York City, Las Vegas, Wyoming, and other far-flung places on the U.S. map. It includes Louisiana investors, too. Our residential neighborhoods are being transformed by the development activities of sophisticated corporations like this one. The fine for illegal demolitions will soon be slightly increased by this recent legislative action. Willow Street Partners is getting off easy, paying just $10,000 is 1970s dollars under the current law. Please uphold the decision of the HDLC and deny the appeal.
Are there any other public comments? Any comments from the dais? All right, so I'll move. I need a second from Morel. 6 yeas, motion passes. Thank you.
On top of page 17, we have the HDLC appeal of 2409 Burgundy Street has been deferred to June 23rd. Councilmember King.
That's the thing, man. Like, I think sometimes we think about some of this stuff as minimalist, but like to somebody this matters, right? Somebody went to Councilmember Freddie
Right
King
now, we're going to go to
and was like,
page
hey,
19.
the stucco chimney situation, whatever it is, and it got on the agenda. Like, all of this stuff, like, we can
have a
complain,
legislative
trying to
group
get it on the
in
agenda.
zoning docket 1522, Frenchman Decatur LLC, requesting a conditional use to permit a hotel over 10,000 square feet in floor area in an HMC2 Historic Marigny Treme Bywater Commercial District and an AC1 Arts and Cultural Diversity Overlay District on Square 5, lots A, E, and F, or Lot D, an undesignated lot in the 3rd Municipal District, bounded by Decatur Street, Frenchman Street, Charter Street, and Esplanade Avenue. Municipal addresses 1407 through 1411 Decatur Street, 500 through 504 Frenchman Street. The recommendation of the City Planning Commission, King, approving and granting the applicant's conditional use request, subject to 2 waivers and 7 provisos, as set forth by the City Planning Commission on zoning docket 1522.
Thank you, City Planning Commission.
Thank you, Council Member. This is a conditional use application affecting a property at the corner of Frenchman and Decatur, which is in the Marigny and developed with a series of connected 3-story Greek Revival buildings from the early 1800s. The property is located within an HMC2 district, which is the commercial district that extends along this portion of Frenchman Street and limits commercial use to 10,000 square feet, but allows commercial use over 10,000 square feet through the conditional use process. And so the proposal here is to take these existing structures, which total about 30,000 square feet, convert them to hotel use, which again is permitted in the district, but requires conditional use approval under the size. The proposal is allowable under the master plan, which explicitly contemplates visitor-oriented uses such as hotels and would allow for the renovation and continued use of these historically important structures. The Planning Commission is supportive of the application for those reasons and recommends approval with 2 waivers as well as a series of several provisos.
Thank you. This motion will grant a conditional use for a hotel over 10,000 square feet. We're also going to grant 2 waivers, one to allow a floor area ratio increase to 2.6 and another to waive the off-street parking requirement. Do you have any online comments? No online comments. Any comments from the dais? Make a motion. Second by Councilmember Harris. Please vote. 6-0, motion carries. Thank you.